Okay, let's start with D4. Tiger 22222. Rated around 1800. So is he going to play a Nimzo? Or no, he's going for the Budapest gambit. Okay. It's an interesting line. I play it kind of simply here. I'll let him take the pawn back and just try and get some decent development here. Kind of waiting to see where he puts his bishop. The bishop could go to c5 or could go to b4 with check. This pawn is under attack, so I've got to be careful about that. Defended at the moment. Queen can come out and attack on the king side, but I can just castle. Let's go ahead and castle. That way, if the bishop comes out to b4, it's not with check, and there's no pin on the knight. So that means my development can proceed on the queen side unhampered. It's interesting that he played this c6 move. I guess the idea is keeps my knight from hopping into either d5 or b5, and maybe prepares d5 himself at some point. So can I play b6? That's the question. b3. I want to play b3 and bishop b2. Get this bishop on a good diagonal. And if I do that, he might play bishop to f6. So pawn to b3, bishop f6, bishop b2. Everything seems defended, and then this this pawn is very solidly defended too, so my bishop is free to take things that might show up over here. So I think, yeah, he went there right away. Okay, so I thought he was aiming for that. And it seems he was. So what to do here? Maybe put the queen to the side and bring a rook to the center. And I'm trying to keep control of the f5 square so he can't play bishop f5 later. Queen does that for the moment. Also defending the bishop here so that the knight is free to move if it wants to go somewhere. There, the rook goes to the d file. So now knight to e4 is looking interesting. Knight e4 to d6. But he didn't stop that either. I was going to say, he put the queen there, which maybe stops that. So knight e4, he takes the bishop, I take back, and then he takes the knight. Knight e4, he takes the bishop, I throw my knight in here. He just retreats his bishop because I'm not making a threat. So I need to defend that knight or the bishop in a different way. I was just noticing bishop a6 would a3 would skewer the queen and the rook, but of course he can take it. Don't have that square covered. Could just drop back here. That protects the bishop. So now I can play knight here. If he trades bishops, I take with the rook. And I still get my, well, it distracts my rook, though. It'll take me a while to get my knight to d6 where I want it. So maybe it wasn't so great. Yeah, okay, let's defend. If I defend, the problem with defending is that he will attack the bishop with his knight. So I go bishop f3, he goes knight to either h4 or d5. Either one looks good. That's so annoying. I just misplayed that. No one to blame but myself. I got to get the rook back to the d file. Maybe I have knight f5 to d6. But he's got moves in the meantime. Like that. But now knight f5 is a threat. He can trade off with his bishop, I guess. Bishop to f3 is a threat, hitting his c-pawn. So maybe bishop f3 first, c-pawn moves, then the knight can move. And I can come to e4 instead of f5. If I go to f5, his bishop can just trade off the knight, and I haven't really accomplished very much, it seems. But bishop f3, knight e4. He could play bishop f5, pinning the knight. He goes there with the bishop. Okay, so if I just push this pawn forward, threatening the fork. If he moves the bishop out of the way, I'll have to defend that d-pawn, but I think I can just push it forward. Yeah. Okay, so e4 was a move I planned to play here. I still have f5, but he can take e3 with check. Don't want to allow that. He can maybe play d5. Maybe not. d5, I take, he takes, I can take with the rook. I was just noticing the e-pawn is pinned. Is it? No, the knight's defending the bishop. The e-pawn is not pinned. Okay, so his knight ran away. So now I can play, if I move the knight, then the bishop will be loose on the e-file. So if I move the knight, then he takes. I can't take back with the pawn. So can I pile up on the bishop and play d5? Well, we'll start with this move. Since he took the pressure off the f-pawn, I can put the bishop here. Queen f2 hits the b-pawn over there. He defended it. Maybe he wants to push it. Or he just wants to get off the diagonal of my bishop. I guess that makes sense. So pawn forward. He takes. I'll start with this. Pawn forward, he takes, I take. Oh, the bishop is not. Bishop is defended by his knight. So it's not so great. Well, let's think about this anyway. Pawn forward. He takes, I take, he takes. I'm not liking this. Knight f5, he just trades, I guess. Oh, but the f-pawn is loose. How long has that been there? I mean, I went here, he went there, I went here, he went there. Yeah, let's just take that pawn. There had to be a weakness there. I don't know why it was taking me so long to see that. But now I'm ganging up on the c-pawn. It's tough to defend all those pawns when you put them in a row like that, and you don't use the pawns to defend each other. Well, that's the advantage of looking at the position for a while before you move, is sometimes you start to notice some tactics you missed on the first pass. But really, something like that I should notice immediately. That's kind of funny. So what about d5? He takes, I take, he takes, then I can grab over here. So it's just a big trade. I'll have a passed pawn, or be able to get a passed pawn on the queen side perhaps. So he gets out of trouble there. I can double on the he was expecting that one. Yeah, so is there a way to get more pressure here? I was willing to take the bishop and knight for a rook, but I don't want to give up the exchange here. So it seems like I need to reposition this knight somehow. Boom, boom, boom. Could come into d5, but at the same time that would interfere with what's going on here. I have an idea. Maybe I'll just play bishop to bishop to g4 and trade off that bishop. And if he takes, I'll have 3 pawns together here, and 1 pawn behind him, but I could get my knight to a good square. So let's see, he's weakening things on the queen side here. Maybe he's hoping to win a pawn, but I can take a pawn right away. I probably should. Now I can attack the bishop from the side. That should be good. So he moves the bishop. Okay. Makes sense. Attacks my pawn. And let's see. Should I defend it? Probably. Pause to defend. I can kick the bishop back with pawn to f5 here. Get it off of this diagonal. But let's go with well, knight to f5. He will just take it again, I guess. Okay, we'll put the rook here. Pin his knight. takes a square away from the bishop. So now f5, the bishop can go to f7. So he stops f5, okay. Well, he doesn't stop it. Let's go ahead and play this. Here, in this situation, I don't mind if he takes the knight, I guess. It'll open up this diagonal for my bishop. He could just move his rook, right? Just double or go, yeah, preparing to double here. Now I'm thinking it might be good to hop around to this square, to d5 here. So he will double, I guess. Yeah, if he doubles, he can win a pawn here. My bishop is defending g2, so I feel pretty good on that score. So he decided to defend f6. Yeah, the knight here attacks f6, which is something that might get annoying for him. So he just takes it. Okay. This gives me a passed pawn, which is protected. That's nice. Okay, and then he's going to activate his knight. So where can the knight come in? It's going to come into this square and attack my pawn and attack my bishop. Yeah, okay. That's a good point. Can't control that square. Let's play a move that attacks his rook. Maybe I'll bring my bishop around in front of the pawn. And here, just start pushing. So if I go here, put my rook behind the pawn, and he takes, then I push the pawn. Does he have a great check or anything? I'm about ready to queen. Couldn't push right away because knight and rook were coordinating on that d7 square. If he plays knight d7, I will trade out and play rook to c8. Yeah, kind of makes sense to do that. So my idea is rook to c8, attacking this pawn, which he can't defend, and then also threatening rook to c7, which should be getting me a rook or a queen. Yeah, it's a nice win, I think. Let's see if he can pull this one out. See if he finds some miracle save here. I'm not seeing it. The rook can't move, right, because of the pin. He can come back to defend, but I can bring my rook to the back rank. And his king is too far away to stop the pawn. His pawns are too far away. So the power of the passed pawn wins out. Is he going to let his time run out? Yeah, he just resigned. Okay, didn't let his time run out. He resigned. So good game. I'm going to upload this into a postmortem and see you guys later. Bye.